unlocking unseen possibilities for unlimited growth. You're here today with Nader Sabry, and we are talking about nap over trap. This is a common area where many people have an issue in regards to fatigue or complacency, of obviously two ends of the different spectrum there. So one of the things that are really important, especially when it comes to intensive creative work that needs to get done to solve some complex problems, is we set a timeline and it has to be solved within that time. Now, what we don't plan for in these schedules when we try to do that is napping, right? A time to take rest, to review and reflect on really critical, important points. I don't know if you know the science behind this, but this is quite interesting. This probably happened to many of you, where you're trying to solve a problem during the day, you go to sleep at night and through REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement, when you're basically your brain is fragmenting your hard drive, reorganizing information and putting it into the places that they make sense. All of a sudden you wake up in the morning, maybe even during night, and all of a sudden you discovered or saw something that you hadn't seen, right? There's some information that was not collaborated or coordinating properly when you're tackling it. So taking power naps, sleep, and the overall message here is about pace. You got to pace yourself. I know sometimes we need to be very intense to solve problems in very tight deadlines. One of the other hacks that I use is what I call a lockdown. A lockdown is basically a dedicated 1 hour where everything is shut down. That's why I call it a lockdown. So email is shut down, telephone is shut down, anything that is a distraction, including the physical door, is closed and locked. That's why, I call it a lockdown, either with yourself or your team, where you focus on one thing with a very focused agenda, and that is what you solve and develop in that 1 hour. Now, you would be shocked what you can actually get done in a 1 hour lockdown session. You can literally, and this happens to me all the time, I can spend 3-4 hours thinking about something, anticipating to get that done. And then within 1 hour, all I had to do was just get up and do it, right? So the reason that I talk about nap over trap, right? You don't want to fall into the trap where I'm always stuck on a timeline where I have not anticipated or planned for the ability to allow my brain to do its job, allow my body to do its job, right? You got to eat well, you got to sleep well, and you got to move well, right? I used to do a lot of walking. Unfortunately, I don't do as much as I used to, but I remember a case where one of my clients, whenever he would look for me, I'm working out of his office, he'd be looking for me and he wouldn't be able to find me on many occasions, but people tell him, oh yeah, he's downstairs walking around the block. He'd be looking at me from upstairs until eventually one day he actually came down. The CEO came downstairs and says, why are you always walking, man? Are you actually doing some work? In a, of course, comical way. And I explained to him, well, motion creates emotion. So when I start moving around, my mind is able to work. My body is able to work. I'm able to solve these problems. And I said, why don't you try it with me a few times? He tried it a few times. It blew him away. He adapted it as a practice and a culture across the organization. And that is part of, pacing yourself, right? You need to nap, right? You need to take those rest periods before you fall into a trap where you have this tight timeline. You need to do things within that time. You're putting in the efforts, you're putting all in the resources, but you're just not getting the results because you're not giving yourself the time and space. That is nap over trap.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell, like the video, share your comments. See you in the next video.